Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Madam Secretary, for being here today. You know, early on in your remarks, you threw out a term I had not heard called modern supply-side economics. I did a little quick research on that. I believe you're calling a duck a squirrel. That is nothing more than modern monetary theory, and I would suggest that the American people don't go for that. But anyway, that's not really what I wanted to get to. You know, you've got $80 billion for 87,000 new IRS employees. You're asking for another $43 billion, and you know, number one, I don't see where those, you know, where the plan for the previous employees are. Number two, how do we know that these employees won't be looking into the bank accounts of our fellow Americans? Our friends on the other side of the aisle tried to get an IRS surveillance program into the banking system in the last Congress, and we successfully blocked it. But we've had to go so far as to introduce a bill, H.R. 1010, prohibiting IRS Financial Surveillance Act. Can we have your assurances that none of the money that has been appropriated to the IRS will be used to implement a financial surveillance system with the banking system, snooping into the bank accounts of our fellow Americans, unless it is directed by Congress? Yes or no? Do we have your commitment that you won't go around the back of Congress and implement that program?
Of course not. We require
Good, thank you.
legislation.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Madam Secretary, and I appreciate the directness of the answer. Second thing, you know, I still don't get the fact that under the Constitution, the power of taxation lies with Congress, and yet you are negotiating U.S. tax policy, and you're ceding U.S. tax policy and revenue to countries around the world with the OECD. I will tell you, I've said this, and I think I said this the last time you were here. We are about making America the most competitive place in the world to do business, and we should be winning both on the manufacturing side and the export side. We should be importing treasure from around the world to the United States of America. And I don't think that we should give up one dime of our U.S. revenue to foreign countries with this. When we have a debt crisis that is looming, okay? Real quickly, can you tell me, will the GILTI revenues, if your Pillar 2 is implemented, will those revenues go down here in the U.S.?
Well, if the United States implements the GILTI tax, which would involve...
As a function of Pillar 2, would you see a decrease in tax revenue coming into the U.S. from that?
It would be a huge increase in tax revenue
okay.
if we implement the GILTI tax.
Okay,
Our tax
I think that's
revenue
yet to be determined. Now,
clearly rise.
One final thing, Madam Secretary. You know, Americans really, over the years of all of the alphabet agencies up here, they tend to fear the letters IRS more than most. And one of the things that we find disturbing is that the IRS has been buying up a tremendous amount of ammunition and firearms over the years. Two things. Number one, can you provide a report to this body that will explain why the IRS has purchased so much 9mm ammunition, and will you commit to not buying a single bullet or a single gun in that agency until you get your customer service right?
Look, there
Yes or no? Will you look into that?
No, I won't, because...
Okay, thank you, Madam. My time has expired. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen.